think I got it. It's this button, right? Hey, there we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
Today is February 20th, 2024. Go ahead. Oh, it didn't pick it up. How you doing there, friends? It's February 20th, 2024. My name is Jeff Fritz. We're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there? Look, there's already a bunch of folks here. We're broadcasting live to Twitch and YouTube. Hello, hello. Let me say hello to Napalm Codes. Yeah, there you go with the good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hey, good afternoon, Robert Stefan, CTI Geek. How you doing there in Virginia? Marcus. That's right. Good. Insert time here. It knows this hat. We'll give that a shot. How you doing there, TBD Gamer? Yeah, we're doing well here today. Lanky Scottish Nerd, good day to you. C Sharp Titans over there on YouTube. How's it going there? Greetings to you in Australia. Rambling Geek, hello, hello. Let me run that hat command one more time. I'm shocked, I tell you, shocked. I could have sworn it knows what this hat is. I will take a peek in there. We had a very good long stream yesterday, going through, talking about new features, building new features, getting updates into TagZap. It's getting more and more complete. I think we've now surpassed the set of features that we had in it previous to the Blazor migration. Mythin
01 just resubscribed for 29 months. Hello there.
29 months. Thank you so much. And I'll make another donation to the American Cancer Foundation. You know what? Maybe it doesn't. No, it doesn't know what this hat is. We're going to have to train this hat. Stand by. That's not the command. It's been that long since I've trained one that I forgot the command. There we go. It's taking screenshots, and we're going to get them over. Oh, yeah. TagZap's going to be in the limelight today. First off, yesterday, we finished a bunch of final pieces of migration, getting all the various providers, except for the two YouTube providers, which I'm going to end up rewriting. I think there's a better way to interact with them. The YouTube API is quite limiting with how we can interact with it. So we're going to do a little bit of rewriting there, I think. We brought in the Blue Sky provider, so now Blue Sky is supported on TagZap, and we started building customization for the modal dialogue that appears inside of TagZap. This is the first of a good bit of features that we're going to roll into it for the next month or two, that allows the users, the administrators of TagZap, to customize it so that it fits in with the way that they want their application, their event, their interactions to look and feel. There we go. We've got all the images clipped over here for this hat, so I'll get it trained up here. Napalm sipping their favorite mint syrup latte out of an ember mug, keeping it a perfect 131 degrees. Nice. The hat stand is here. Hello. And Surly Dev, Dr. Cox, good to see you. Hello. Here, let's get let's head over to the full screen, and we'll get the bot trained on this hat. Oh, there you go. This is, what do we call this hat? Because it's the Seattle Kraken anchor, but it's also the Space Needle. So can we call this the Kraken Space Needle? Like that? And I got this hat at Build last year. So Microsoft Build, it wasn't at Build, but I was in town. I was in Seattle for Build, and I had a break in between sessions that I was moderating and working on. So I literally jumped in a cab and drove halfway across town to the to Climate Pledge Arena, where the Seattle Kraken play hockey. They have a store just outside the arena. I popped in and I got this hat. I got my daughter a jersey. I got a pin, a couple other things. So and then I quick dashed back to build, and it was a good time. I enjoyed my time there visiting for Microsoft Build. As of right now, I am not scheduled to be at Build 2024. That's just the way it goes. I've made this joke. I've made this comment a number of times here on stream. I don't speak at events that I don't organize, and the folks who are running Build, they don't need me. That's okay. When I was out at Build last year, they had me there as a moderator. I literally sat on the side of sessions and handled questions coming in from online. At which point it's like, I could be doing this from home. I've got a better facility at home to be able to do this. So we'll see what happens. There we go. We're gonna get we'll get that trained up. I'm gonna unpublish this old one, and we'll see how it goes coming through. All right, let me head back over to chat. There we go. Hello. So let me catch up here. Dr. Cox didn't even have time to finish the VOD from yesterday. Hey, that's okay. The beat moves on, and we're gonna have a good time getting through. A couple. I want to add a wallpaper to the back side of the modal dialogue and that sounds weird, the back side of the modal dialogue, but it spins around. The back side of the modal dialogue in TagsApp, I want to allow you to upload an image for that. I want to work on a little bit of a queue so that from the waterfall view, you can select a couple of messages, put them into a queue so that you can go through them. And then I want to add Discord today. I want to start work on Discord. Now, the mention there about TagsApp's going to be in the limelight. That's right, Lanky Scottish Nerd. So we're going to finish our stream here today, raid into the ASP.NET Community Stand-Up, and then I'm going to join over there, and we're going to talk about TagsApp, building applications with .NET 8, with the new Blazor features, the migration process that we went through. We're going to talk about all of that with our good friend Mr. John Galloway, and have a good conversation, have some fun talking about how it's grown, advanced, and how it's going to help events in the future that Microsoft hosts, and other streamers and folks will be able to use TagsApp as well because it's free. It's free and open source. Anybody can download and work with it. Let me get some music playing in the background here. I'm going to go with the Stream Beats EDM playlist today. I'm going to scroll down here somewhere. And let's start with this. This is called Cozy. There you go. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you want. Check it out. It's streambeats.com. I think they're moving the website. But you can find the Stream Beats playlist on Apple Music, Amazon Music, and Spotify, like I'm listening to here. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for making this music that we're listening to today. I got 21 copyright violation notices from the music yesterday. We streamed for about 7 hours yesterday. YouTube served me with 21 copyright violation notices. I'm going to have to go back and debate every one of those. It's therapeutic to go through and debate all of them. So, you try to limit yourself to a cup a day, says Napalm. Mug is critical to keeping things warm. Yeah, I get it. JS Maniac, hello. Big yo to you as well. You would probably go to Build this year. I might have another event or two that you might be a little bit more interested in going to later this year. I might. Can't talk too much about them because they haven't been announced yet, but I might have another event later this year. Of course, They haven't published the dates or anything about the spring dev intersection yet. That's coming. That's coming up. DM you. There'll be some information to be shared very soon. Hey there, Johnny B. Cat over on YouTube. Good morning. Thank you helping the other streamer. Helping Fierce Kittens yesterday. Right. So let's talk about that for a second. Fierce Kittens has done a great job building GiftBot, her application that she's built, made open source, that lets folks host and manage animated GIFs, audio clips, whatnot, different alerts pop up on screen. She built that with Blazor. She built that with Blazor WebAssembly. So she knows how to use Blazor WebAssembly. She built it with Blazor WebAssembly with .NET 6, I want to say. So here she is getting back in. She hadn't touched Blazor since .NET 6 and getting back in with .NET 8. And .NET 8, as we've seen, has had a significant architecture change. Where in the first incarnations of Blazor, you had Blazor running on WebAssembly, running natively in the browser. Download code and run it in the browser in the same sandbox that our JavaScript runs in. And you had Blazor on the server that would run the exact same code on the server and send UI updates back and forth to the browser. But you had to choose how you wanted that to run at literally at project declaration time. I'm building a new project. Here, I'm making this server, or I'm making this WebAssembly. Yeah, you could go in and copy over the code that was in the template and make it work after the fact. Most folks chose it at project design time, like project initialization time. And that's one of the key things that I point back to about when people say, well, is Blazor the next Silverlight? No. Blazor's better than Silverlight was because it runs everywhere. And the big update that we needed to help Fierce Kittens with was the rendering model for Blazor now renders in 5 different ways. Still, it renders in the browser with WebAssembly, it renders on the server with interactive server mode, but it'll also render on the server in static server render mode, which means it doesn't hear events. It's static. It generates HTML, ships it down to the browser, and we're done. That's it. You need to turn on interactive mode, which means you need to set the new render mode features in your application. And for folks who haven't seen that yet, it's a little daunting. It's not something that is hinted at. And that's hard to pick up and follow along with. Blazor is by far better. Thank you, Johnny. I gotta agree. Let me, I'm gonna reset the hat AI here real quick. And we'll try to have it detect this hat. No, it's not GitHub. No. Dear Lord, no, it's not GitHub. Try again. No? Come on now. Really? Come on now. Wait a sec. I didn't publish it. You have to publish the doohickey. Hang on. There it is. Yeah. Hang on. There we go.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Now it knows what it is. I gotta update the database with entries on it, but there we go. That's all set and running. So it is, to finish my point about Blazor, if you don't know that those features are there, literally stuff breaks in front of you and you have no idea why, and there's no hint as to why. That's a problem in my mind. For those that didn't see, Fierce Kittens was trying to just wire up a click event on a button to a Blazor method. We know how to do this. However, if you don't have the interactivity mode set to Blazor, WebAssembly, or Auto, it doesn't do anything. And I feel like we need an analyzer that, or at least a Visual Studio extension or something that's going to show you, hey, this page is static. These events are not going to be handled at all. And that's something that I think would help developers discover that there's a setting we're missing on this page. Hey there, Lemon Sauce. Raj asks, what's the best project idea we can do with Blazor? Blazor's like Zombo. You can do anything with Blazor because it runs everywhere. And we're going to get into Blazor hybrid applications. I want to get into them on Thursday. It'd be really great if we could get into it on Thursday. But Blazor applications run everywhere. So what's the best project idea? That's like asking somebody to respond to what's the best website on the internet. I don't know. Is there a regex editor extension for VS Code? I don't think so. I don't think so, but I mean, you can use the regex editor that's built into Visual Studio. Everybody has access to that. Are you kidding? Let's see, extensions. Regex. Yeah, there's a couple regex editors that I see out there as Visual Studio Code extensions. Yeah, including one called regex editor. It's on a 0.005 version. That's pretty early. Now I see the message in chat, but there we go. I was going to say my browser froze. Hey, Stevie over on YouTube. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome in. So reception to that latest episode of C# in the Cards has gone very, very well. Viewership on the website continues to be up significantly. I'm up 100% in viewership on the website over this time last week. Awesome. I need to prepare and record the next episode of that.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
There you go. So I need to get that prepared, recorded. I'll probably end up preparing it later today, maybe recording tonight. I don't know. But the last episode we did in C# in the Cards was about arrays, and I showed the Fisher-Yates shuffle algorithm, how you can do that. And it's all of the code, all of the content for C# in the Cards is available as polyglot notebooks. So you can download and run them either in Visual Studio Code, or you can open them up in the browser and work with them over there. So lots of options so that you can follow along, tinker. You don't have to worry about crashing applications or systems. It's in a notebook. Tinker with it, make changes. It'll give you some friendly error messages if it doesn't work properly. I'm really enjoying building that series. After this next episode that I'm going to release, I'm going to put together a little quiz episode. Hey, let's go over what we learned so far. And ask a bunch of questions and see what folks think. And a few days later, we'll publish the answers over on GitHub somewhere so that folks can review, and we'll publish a review answer episode as well. Additionally, we're going to bundle up the first 10 episodes as well as the review episode and turn that into the first draft of our ebook, C# in the Cards. That's going to be coming all within the next week and a half. By next Friday, I expect to have that first draft of the book put together and out there, containing the first 10 episodes. Each episode is 10 to 15 minutes. Real easy to go through and learn from, and intended for anybody to pick up and learn programming. So, how you doing there, G? Help me out with your screen name there. G Chirinos 21. Good to see you. Hello. C Sharp Titan on YouTube says C Sharp in the Cards is an awesome series. Loves my teaching style. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Best books for Blazor and also for .NET, asks Raj. Check out the book by our friend Jimmy Engstrom. Out there on the Amazon. It's got a big raccoon on the front cover. You can't miss it. And he just released the second edition of it, but that's for .NET 7. There isn't a book for .NET 8 yet because it's still new. It was just released. So, there we go. So I'm not even going to bring up the page here, but there's Web Development with Blazor by Jimmy Engstrom from Packet Publishing. I'm going to recommend you check that one out. But for .NET, I honestly, I wouldn't get books because the tech moves so fast. That's why the notebooks, the online notebooks and ebooks are really good for folks because they can be maintained and updated. Check out the tutorials on learnmicrosoft.com. Check out my video series and the content that I'm writing at csharpinthecards.com as well. And the content from C Sharp in the Cards is a bit of a rewrite, a bit of a relaunch of the series that I was doing, C Sharp with C Sharp Fritz. That was on the Microsoft channels, YouTube and Twitch channels. So we're getting ready. Next week, we're planning to relaunch C Sharp with C Sharp Fritz. And we're going to focus on Blazor for about 8 weeks. We're going to talk about the new Blazor. And of course, that is not a presentation. That's a talk show. That's a discussion. That's a radio show. Folks can ask questions. We're going to talk about things. We're going to break things. We're going to have a good time building and learning together. Not just, hey, here's 5 minutes how to do something. All right? There aren't a lot of folks that can comfortably do that format of teaching and interacting with chat. And it's my pleasure to be able to deliver and talk in that medium. But you won't find anybody else on the Microsoft channels doing that at all, ever, period. And I bring that to our events, and that's why we're building and adding on to TagsApp so that we can enable that at more events, that type of interaction. Let me bring up the GitHub for TagsApp, and we'll talk more about the application here and get a link into chat. If you're watching on YouTube, check out just below me. If you want to click the link, there's a link in the description just below. If you're on Twitch, let's see. We're gonna. Oh, don't give me that today. And there's the link, and I will pin that message. There we go. So if you're on Twitch, there's a message pinned to the top of chat that has the links so you can get to more information about TagsApp. Here it comes. It's right there. So, and you can scroll down and see that's the prototype page from when we tested the NFL kickoff way back in September. I should put some more images up here from .NET Conf because we used this during .NET Conf to collect messages, feedback from folks, and share it during the event. So Thank you, Stevie, for the kind words there. Yeah, I hope everyone has a good day. On YouTube, James Foreman asks, what inspires me for website design? What inspires me for website design? That's a good question. It's not so much the social media sites. They don't inspire me. I do look at other sites and I like the way they feel and the way they go. I don't like the Microsoft template of the Microsoft sites. Most of the sites that you find at something.microsoft.com, they're not my cup of tea. I'm okay to not. It's okay to not like their design. It feels like cookie cutter stamped all over the place, and it doesn't really do anything for me. I feel like I'm a practical developer, and I want to make sure that features are within a few clicks of somebody who's using the application. So I'm inspired by the usability, by the folks that I talk to who aren't familiar with an application when they pick up and they can learn how to use something quickly because it's just accessible. It's just right there within natural reach of their mouse, of keystrokes. So that's really where I lean into. Will I be covering base 64 encoding in my series? Asks C# Titan. Will I be covering it in this C# in the card series? Probably not. But I'm going to do it today. But I'm doing it today. So,
now we know.
Did it
And
get
knowing
it?
is
Yeah,
half the
it got the
battle.
right hat. There we go. Let me see. Continuing here. Did I manage to rectify the headphone microphone issue? No, I was not able to get that working yesterday. From yesterday, I need a new cable. Is what I think is going on here. The cable that I'm using is there's a couple cables here that I think are misbehaving, and yeah, I need to get those into replaced. Get the Gunners on here. These are the Marin glasses. They're rimless down here on the bottom, and I really enjoy them because they're light. I don't feel like I'm where the torpedoes, they feel very aggressive with the wraparound lenses. I enjoy these. I was playing Overwatch last night with our friend Imperial, and she's great at the game. As just an amateur player, right? And I say amateur as in she's not a professional. She's not playing every day and getting paid to play Overwatch. She's pretty good. Holds her own. Fun. It's fun watching her play. It was great to play a game with her last night, and I like wearing those glasses for that. It feels like I'm in the moment and I'm there. Coding and that, I do like these lighter weight, smaller, thinner glasses in the Gunner Marins. Time to break out the soldering iron? I don't know. I'm not going to go that far. But I do feel like there's something wrong with either with the cables or with my Zoom adapter here that I've been using for that secondary audio device for a long time. No, we're good. We're good. All right. So this is what's going on with it. This is more about TagZap. I should add an entry here about Blue Sky now. Let's do that. Let's add an entry about Blue Sky on this. I'm going to get rid of the HJKL because I removed that feature. Blue Sky. There we go. And I don't need to see the preview. I know what it looks like. I'd like to, yeah, commit changes. There we go. Removed Vim navigation mention and added Blue Sky to the list of supported services. There we go. Nope. Blazor. That's a service. There it is. That's why I linked it. Because it's a thing. So the folks that are building this are frequent viewers of the stream. You'll see them drop in, and you'll see Steve pop in and talk about it every now and again. So they sent me a hat and t-shirt for Blazor. You'll see me wear every now and again here on stream. Yeah. So I started working on, so let's actually launch Tags app. Take a look and get it running here. That's an awesome idea with Tags app. Oh, cool. Thank you, Stevie. So I do have the domain name. I should build and deploy a real website there. And at some point, a version of the application. The tricky thing is managing the interactions with the social media providers. When we need to go and scale that up to manage and search for more content, it's going to put more pressure on those, and I'm not quite there yet in wanting to build that type of multi-tenant capability. There's definitely hooks there so that we could do it. I'm personally not ready for it. So I'll bring up the moderation tab here and it'll load up. There we go. And I was looking at how the mouse over works here. I have some ideas how to fix that. There's a bit of circular referencing happening here where there's a .NET event for the on mouse over that triggers a JavaScript thing to activate and deactivate the pause button, that triggers a .NET repainting of the pause button that you see down here in the corner, that triggers information to happen in JavaScript. So it's a really long process that it triggers and it waits for, and I need to break that down and simplify it. Let me see here. C# Titan asks, will I be restricting the size of the images to be uploaded, cropping and encoding it as base 64? Probably. Hey there, is it Cesar? Hello, welcome. Could a background service manage that? No, it's not a background. I could. It's trying to do too much. It needs to do a fire and forget type of interaction, and let that happen after the animation has already occurred. Hey, Jean Valjean, how you doing there? That's coder 24601 to you and I. Hello. Failed to connect. It's going well. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the configuration bits that I've been building here. So let me bring up the waterfall screen. So on the waterfall screen, when this comes up, you can bring up folks' messages. Like this one from Crash Systems. See, there's a back to the card that spins around, and here's the front of the card. And, right, that's kind of a nice bit to have for some branding. So, as a bit of, here we go. So, right now, I added the ability to specify some text, set the color. I just put in a text box for what font you'd like to have, along with a little preview of what it looks like. So, Postman is down. Oh no. Yeah, that's failed to connect. Postman is down. That's going pretty bad. So, right, it live updates here, so I can, I can put whatever content I want there. I can change the font colors to whatever I want here. Right, make the background, make it something like this. And I can even, right, it supports 2 lines. I can put it on 1 line. And we can do stuff like, right, and save those changes, go back over to the waterfall, refresh it, and now it kind of looks cool, right? So I can brand that however I want, and that's pretty cool. I like that. So 1 second here. Subliminal messaging? I don't know about that. I don't know. What about header color? C# Titan, I was thinking... What, here? Take that one. I was thinking the exact same thing. Might be cool to be able to do header color here. Gradients, sure. I want to do image upload. But the header color gradients on the back, sure. They're very doable. I think there's a space for me to be able to stop myself building some of those features and let the open source community build some of that. Not hard to do, but something that would be fun and allow other folks to get involved. One second here. All right. So there's a lot for us to look at here and figure out. Let me put on. I need to put something on my to-do list today. 1 second. Mrs. C# Fritz she's got a issue that I need to take care of this afternoon. Cool. Gradient's a nice set of community maintained. Used it in a few projects. Let me copy that link. What do we got here? Community contributed collection of multicolor gradients. Where do I see these? Like, show me. Do you have a doc or something? Some image? Nothing? Like, help me out here. Nice. Nice. I don't know what's going on down here. But, okay. Like, with respect, your project's a UI thing. And you don't have images about it. They have a website in the description. I like that. That's cool. Nice. I like the blue raspberry. I like evening night here. That's a good one. Very cool stuff. That's a cool one. Yeah. Very cool. I could see using these, bringing them in, and making that. Yeah, I would expect to see something, some samples or something in the README, and then a click off. Hey, to see more, go check our website. Because the website thing right here, it's right there, and I never look there at the description. I always look down here in the README. Like, great, you have a little description on everybody's GitHub that's right here. And I always skip through that. Hey, Phil, good to see you. So, this might be cool to put in for some... Go back over here. Some customization that could be done over here. I'm literally just throwing configuration things over here. I'd love to have a drop-down list of fonts here. Right now, it's just taking whatever text you have and just echoing it into the font CSS rule. So, but what I want to do is I also want to allow you to update and upload an image. And there was some comments there earlier about base 64. Yeah, let's base 64 encode that, John, and save it. I haven't worked with uploading files with Blazor before, so this is something new to try. Always got to try something new, right? Let's push the boundary of some of the things that we know, and let's see what that looks and feels like. So let me think. Let me grab an image that we can use. Let me grab one of my background images. Yeah, here. Where the heck? Yeah. There it is. And I think it's in here. Yeah. There we go. There's that. Where are my logos? Where the logos go? I haven't used that in a long time. That was fun. No. What do we got? No. Back up. I'm going to find... Oh man, those are really old. I want to find one of my... Oh, you know where? I know where it is. I've got too many... I need to like consolidate and organize all my images and content for the stream, because it's just all over the place. Scrolling. Where'd it go? So, Corgi Candy. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's do this. So I'll use this to test with. Come on. There it is. So, right, you've seen this logo in several different places around. So I'd like that to be the back of the cards. It's about 116K, so it's a good size. Certainly not gigantic, but good size enough. Blazor Mr. Magoo asks, how do I spell it? John, Chon? Spell it with a J. J-A-W-N, John. Welcome to Philadelphia, home of that John. My Philly streamer friends are gonna shoot me. That's right, fix that John. How you doing there, Robert Tables? That same purple split gradient across the card would be awesome. So, how do we define a gradient in the current user interface? I'll leave that as a question for folks to be able to answer, as something to be submitted and help. But I want to be able to upload an image. 2 color pickers, more than 2. You need 2 color pickers, at least 2 color pickers, and you need gradient direction, gradient style, position of the gradient. There's several points to it. I'm going to focus on the image uploader here. So, do I have a third open? That's the one that I just opened. Yeah. Okay. There's a subtle error going on where it doesn't open up the panels all the way, the message boxes, when there's an image attached. So if I go down to the Mastodon ones, yeah, see, now it's working just fine. But when you first enter the page for the Mastodon, Twitter ones, it doesn't always open right away and show the full image. So they could get very complicated, yeah. We also take into consideration color theory and validations. I was thinking about adding an indicator for contrast. If the contrast that you've chosen is accessible, that could be a thing. Oh, somebody stopped following. I've been watching the followers count. I am 3 followers from 23,000. So, yeah, it is going to be a bit of a theme manager. Yes. Yes. So, I want to do a Blazor file upload. And I've never done that before. So let's look up some of the documentation about how to do that. Because when I upload, I want to convert it into a base 64 and just stick it into a text field in the database so that I don't have to have someplace on disk that I'm looking for, or a field that's specific for that. Quickfire UK, hello! Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. 2 followers from 23,000. So I think there's a couple different places for that type of feedback there. Oh my gosh, and the sub. Thank you so much. Bring in that Prime sub, and I'll make a donation to the American Cancer Society. Thank you so much for that. I don't like to do this too much, but I did put just below, if you're on Twitch and you look just below me, I did put the numbers there about the Partner Plus revenue match from Twitch. So for those of you that don't know, if you're a Twitch streamer and you have more than 100 folks that subscribe, that they themselves subscribe, not gift subscriptions, they will increase. Where is it? There we go. They will increase your payout percentage from 50% to 60%. So I've included that information below in case folks have seen stuff about that. They're interested in supporting and encouraging and helping us get there. We've got about a week and a half left, and yeah, we need to find 43 more subscribers to get there. It's not something where that I necessarily need to get to, but if we do get there, then subscriptions will pay more towards the charity. Do Prime subs count? No, they do not. These are paid subscribers that are the only ones that count. So Prime doesn't count. Yeah. So let me see here. For that test, the CIEDE 2000 will suffice. I'm not familiar with that, Robert Stefan. Do you have a link so we can learn more about that? Nice validation on the upload to stop malicious uploads. This is an DGen1 is right. This is an admin side of this, and this is something that you yourself are configuring for yourself. Oh my gosh, is it Kilmanity? Thank you so much. Calmanity? Help me with the pronunciation of that. Thank you for the subscription. I'll make another donation to the American Cancer Society. Much appreciate that. An upload taking out the site somehow wouldn't be good. Totally agree. Some validation necessary. Don't need to go crazy with that though. So the color difference. Let's see what we got there. Color difference and color distance is separation between two colors. This metric also quantified examination of a notion that formerly would only be described with adjectives. Distance. Ooh. Well, that's something we can calculate. Because we know the RGB of the colors because it's a hex. CSS hex can be converted back to RGB. We can calculate that. And what the it's not reliable below, I don't know what that is, 1 CD per meter squared. For the Euclidean distance, I have no idea what that is. What those variables are. Yeah, what are those values? You pronounce it Calmanity? Got it. I got you. There isn't really a correct pronunciation. I will pronounce it the way that you want it pronounced. All good. Thank you so much for the support. I have to convert from hex to HSL. Even then, where are the A's and B's coming from? Right? What's IT and P? I don't know. Like, now we're into... Somebody else give me a formula for this. Give me some code to do these things. Oh, dear Lord. Right? Like, L and C prime and H prime, and then there's a R, and I have no idea what these things are. Oh my gosh, Jean Valjean with 5 gift subs. Thank you so much. 5 gift subs into the channel. M Hawk, Ragged Reese, STO 168, Chris LeBron 949, and Ninja Coder 88. Thank you so much for the gift subs. And I'll make donations to the American Cancer Society. So, much appreciate for monitors. Yeah, very cool. Thank you so much for the gift subs. Absolutely, I make donations. All of our subs, all of our cheers. And when individuals buy subs themselves, it helps push that number towards the increased match from the, I'm sorry, not match, the increased split from Twitch. So much appreciate pushing that forward, helping out there. Let's see, what do we have here? So the CIEDE color difference. Well, there's an Excel formula dialog. Okay. An interpretation of that formula. Yeah. Prototype implementation in a Mathematica notebook to verify correctness of it. C# translation of the code. That'll do. That'll do. So, what is good? What is bad? How do we evaluate those numbers? Right? What's low contrast? What's high contrast? When we're looking at numbers between -30, yeah, right? Colors at specified distance, right? Like, in addition to calculating a value, we need to know how to evaluate that value. And it uses a couple of NuGet packages. Tell you what, I love this idea. And I'm a big fan of accessibility in the application. I want to pin some of this information. Add accessibility information for the colors on the... Oh, are you kidding? Back of the modal. Let's look at some calculations like... And I'll grab that color difference. And that. I love this idea. We could then add warning messages. I don't know why I'm suddenly losing focus. Why the mouse suddenly goes somewhere else. Poof, it just happened. Like, what is Windows doing that... No, okay. Warning messages to indicate if something is difficult for users to see. So I like this idea. I want to put this on, this is an enhancement. I'm going to mark it as help wanted. Sure, it's a good first issue. And I will put this on the future milestone. Because this is, I think this is a cool project, a cool feature to add. I don't want to say that we need to have it done at a specific time. But if you're interested in digging in further, there's the link to this issue. Send over some sample code. You want to build a little bit of a pull request to do that. Totally take that pull request. Had to implement this between two primary colors in a text color picker. Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. I want to put a pin in this because there's some great data here. I want to get to what I want to build here today and make sure that we remember this and we can evaluate and move it around and pull it in for future discussion here. Because this type of configuration is absolutely important for folks to understand and be able to use. Any idea why Visual Studio stopped completing parentheses inside function arguments? No. Have a good one, Jean Valjean. Thank you so much for the gift subs. Much appreciate that. Thank you. Very kind. Okay. So cool stuff about gradients. I want to be able to upload images. That's what I want to focus on right now, is uploading images with Blazor. So there is an input file component that we can use. The moderation configuration page. This is an interactive server page. So we're going to be doing this server side. Let me see here. Documentation examples. Okay. Yeah, sure. So always follow best security practices when permitting users to upload files. Blah, blah, blah. Input file component to read browser file data into .NET code. The input file renders an HTML input element of type file. By default, the user selects single files. Add the multiple attribute. I only want to allow you to upload one file. File selection isn't cumulative when using an input file component or its underlying HTML. So you can't add files to an existing file selection. Okay. Component always replaces the user's initial file selection. Yeah. So input file on change, load files. Okay. So let's do some of that. So, right, I'll do a DT and input file. Now I've already got. Yeah, let's see how we go here. Sure, on change equals load background image. That sounds good. And actually, I want that on the DD. And let's make this a label. Background image, right? Ba-ba. See, look, it moved my cursor. It moved focus. I don't know why. Background image, right? And I'll put... come on, man. All right, so I need a method for load background image. Sure. Async task, load background image. I don't know what the input... Really? Are we going to be doing... What is that? I don't know what that was. To read data from a user selected file, call iBrowser file, open read stream on the file, and read the return stream. Show me some sample code. Like, what does that look like? Input file changed event args provides access. Sure. Give me one of those. Okay. So what do we have? File count. So file is an iBrowser file. And it wants me to use open read stream on the file and read from the return stream. So here's the deal. I like that. So browser file, open read stream, read to end. Not recommended for Azure Blob Storage because the file stream content is copied into memory stream in memory before calling upload blob. Why can't I scroll? So instead, await using file stream, path, file mode, create, browser file, open read stream, and copy it into the file stream. Sure. Blob container client, upload blob async, trusted file name, yeah. How do we control upload limits? Yes, please. Large file uploads may fail for client-side uploads using input. See the following discussions. Okay, so there is no configuration option there for that. All right, fine. But I can read the content. Uh-oh, that doesn't look good. So I can read it as a stream, then I can convert it into... I can then convert it to base64 and save it. All right, so args.file. Yeah, look at that stuff. I don't really care what the name is. Can I get the... Yeah, let's look at the content type. Yeah. Let's see. What's it doing? Starts with... Right? They all start with image, right? Something like that. I don't know. We're figuring out a way to throw an error, right? We need to be able to trigger an error on this thing. I don't really need to do that, but I want to convert to base64. I'm going to convert the file contents. Convert stream contents to base64 with C#. Yeah. Convert to base64, takes in a stream, opens a memory stream, and then does convert to base64 of that memory stream array. That feels like duplication, doesn't it, chat? Like, give me a better way. There's got to be a way to do this. Base64 stream is a crypto stream. And that, I don't know about that. If stream is memory stream, return convert to base64, new byte, and then otherwise it, I think that's the way to do it right there. Yep. Why are we in red over here? What's the error? What don't you like? I'm not even gonna ask. Go rebuild. So if I say args.file dot, come here, you. Really? Args file open read stream? Sure. So then I can change this to just stream.length. Now I don't want to return it. What are you doing? But I want to put it into a string. Right? Yeah, that creates a memory stream for each, copies it into the memory stream just so we can call to base64. Versus here, I'm just going to read the bytes and copy it into an array and then do it. Yeah, I think we can do this. Do this nicely. Right? So my modal configuration over here, really? You had to load a package for that? Public string background image. So what I can do then, and since it's a base64 image, I can put the base64 right into the CSS rule. Ooh. Okay. Right, I can do, where is it? right? Config, I can say config.background image. Do I want to say, do I want to put the background image in now? Or do I want to wait till, I think I want to wait till save happens. Yeah. Let's put a private string out here. Yes. Yes, I'll take that. I'd like it capitalized. Right, so if I just say background image equals that. So now you've uploaded it. I have it in as a string in memory. And the modal configuration that it outputs here who dat? Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, nope. 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 Okay. I need to put, it's not in there. It's going to be on this one. Actually, no, it's on this one. Yeah. Since I'm bringing this CSS back from over here, exactly, lanky Scottish nerd, exactly. Let's public string. That's going to be a thing that we're going to need to do. Yes. Not there yet. Not going to worry about that one. Get CSS with, sure. Oh, come on. String new image. I'm not going to do that. That's not bad. I don't know this one yet, so I'm going to include it, but in a comment for right now until I'm done with it. Position and background size. Oh, fine. Give me the background size. No. And for right now, let's just say cover. Come on, man. That should have had a slash after it. Modal back, content transparent. Plus the CSS rules. Not bad. Not bad. Let me go back over here. No, not that one. This one. Shoot, wrong page. Really? There we go. This should be new image. Is it URL when it's base 64 encoded? String is null or empty. New image. Then I want the existing one. Otherwise, this one. Then style the div a little bit. Background image, Earl, yeah. Something like that. But if that's the base 64 string, we might be okay. Right? Let's see what happens. What we get there. You need to be over here. Okay, and no, that's the message. I don't care about the messages right now. This one. Background image. So here, I've got the file, right? The file input. So now if I go browse, no. This one. So the on change happened. The on change happened. Hey, Steph, let me come back to your question in just a minute. And Bexy, let me come back as well. In fact, I'll mark those. Let me grab both of those. And I will come back to those questions in just a minute, all right? I've got them pinned right here for us. So, but that changed. I should have gotten some content. Really? Yes. So that should have hot reloaded. Did it? I don't think it did. All right. No, that did not hot reload. Yeah, something's taking the focus. You think I'm going to need the data image in front of it? Yeah, I want to know what the format is that I get initially here. Right, so there's the change. That doesn't look like it triggered anything. So if I click Save Changes, no. That's not doing anything now. Okay, it says it hot reloaded. Grab the PNG. Did not receive data in the allocated time. Is it uploading? What's it doing? Are we getting errors or something? Ooh. Cannot send data if the connection is not in the connected state. Oh boy. Okay, browse. There's the image. Boom. Specified method is not supported. Browser file stream.seek. Well, that's taking place here. So maybe I do need that memory stream. No, this is an interactive server page. So, okay, if I do this the memory stream way, right? Instead of trying to be simple about it. Really? You're not? Don't need that one. Really? Okay. Back over to here. Choose my image. I don't know if that just threw another error or what. No, it's not connected. Refresh. Hey, this is the real voice. Hello. Welcome. Good to see you. Browsing. Choosing the image to upload. There it is. Boom. Synchronous reads are not supported. Browser file stream read at the stream copy to in the load background image. So synchronous reads are not supported. Is it okay? Copy to async. Like, I'm cool with that. Do it async then. Like, we can all get along. There it is. URI too long. What's it trying to get? Well, that's not going to work. Right, right. So that's the image that it generated. Okay, now let's go back to the right. There it is. There's the image. Oh boy. Oh my God, it's disgusting. No. That's a big image. Not gonna lie. Hey, Sir Timmy. Hello. All right, so I don't need to write the image out anymore. There it is. There's the file name. So, we know that works. Args file. Let me do something here. I think it's mouse without borders misbehaving. So I'm just going to turn that off for right now. All right, so it says it hot reloaded. Yeah, I know. So I will browse and go get the file. Yeah, so I know the URI is too long. It is image PNG. Okay, so now we can go and format here. Right? So this is going to be data image. I need to get the MIME type. Hey there, Thrane22. Welcome. Oh, sure. I'll want the repeat as well. Background image MIME type. And I'm just going to force this to image PNG. And I'll make this background image MIME type. Semi base 64, comma, and then the content. All right. It says hot reload succeeded, but I don't believe you. Hey, Yitzhak Batan. Plan on doing something on Unity and the Apple Vision Pro? Nope. Nope. I do not have an Apple Vision Pro. And it's not in the cards. Ooh. Okay. It didn't blow up. That's a good start. I don't have an Apple Vision Pro. I don't have any intention to get an Apple Vision Pro. But I'm all for the VR hype. Definitely for the VR hype. I'm looking for the style entry here. There it is. There we go. It didn't take the MIME type there. I thought I specified. Oh, you. No, the / should be okay there. Should have taken that. Force the rebuild. Okay. While that's reloading, I want to make sure that I get back to these questions that we had over here from Bexy and Steph that came in a few minutes ago. Let's go to those first, and then we'll dive back in. Bexy with a question to start with here. Is Visual Studio good for web development with Node PHP? Visual Studio Code is phenomenal for those, for Node and PHP. Full Visual Studio, not as much. Full Visual Studio is really intended more as an IDE for compiled languages. It will support, you can do development with them. However, you will have a much better experience in Visual Studio Code working with those tech stacks. The other question coming in from Steph over here. Hey Fritz, I want to start ASP.NET Core, but don't really know where to start. Do I have any tips? I did a series, a video series over on the Visual Studio channel on YouTube. No, .NET channel on YouTube. It was on the Visual Studio channel on Twitch. But if we dial that up, we go to playlists. If we scroll down and look for C# with C# Fritz, way down here now. If you take a look at the playlist, I do a complete ASP.NET Core series of lessons here about MVC, I do some about Razor pages. If you want to learn in video style, there's videos here about that. There's always stuff on .net, and you click on the Learn tab. The team maintains information on this tutorials page. Click into the web, and there's some stuff to get you started building your first web app using Blazor. If you want to get started with ASP.NET Core, these are all pushing. We're pushing, promoting Blazor. There are other tutorials available. There we go. To get you started, along with additional materials down here. So I will share that link. Get you right into videos here and additional content from my team, from the .NET team, working on that together. Who is this? A great roadmap to become an ASP.NET. So I've seen folks with these roadmaps, and I'm not a fan of them. Yeah. Because when you look at this, right, I want to open image in a new tab. That's scary. No two ways about it. That is a whole lot of scariness. Are you kidding? And there's stuff on here that I don't think belongs. It's very opinionated from somebody who says, well, if you want to, if you want to be a professional like me, like, who is this person? Principal software engineer. I've never heard of this person. They've got 3,000 followers and saying, this is the way that you need to do this. Like, there is a ton of content that they're describing for you to learn here. Like style cop rules. No. SQL. Before you even get into web development, they're saying you need to learn database skills. No. Completely disagree. They're saying you need to learn solid principles. Completely disagree. ORM. Further down, dependency injection, yes. You don't need to learn these other things. You don't need to learn Screwtor. You really don't need to learn. You don't need to learn search engines. Like, learning SQL fundamentals without databases until a couple weeks later, sometime later? No. So I really disagree with what this person has set up. Because if you just want to get started, this is overwhelming. It is. What the heck is Scribbin? Like, so my point is, take what you find from folks like this with a grain of salt. What's their credentials? What have they built? What are they known for? This person has 3,000 followers on Twitter. What are they known for? What are they talking about? What are people talking about with them? So I have concerns when I see that. So for the MIME types, you'd prefer constants. No, because I'm serializing a string to the database. So if you're learning ASP.NET, I want you to know HTML. I want you to learn some basic JavaScript. I want you to learn your way around the basics around the dependency injection and how things interact. After that, then we can talk about interacting with a database with Entity Framework, with SQL. Start you with something like SQLite that's simple, that you can break, and who cares? Then we can... the database is its own discipline. Knowing a little bit about SQL is going to take you a long way with Postgres, MySQL, SQL Server, Oracle, DB2. Choose your favorite relational database. It's going to take you a long way with those. It can be overwhelming to have that put in front of you to start. I want you to get in and get the basics of HTML, make Hello World work. I want you to understand and appreciate that when you build a website, it gets delivered from a server. There's a request that comes into the server. It processes the code that you wrote to generate a response and send that back to the browser. And that's how this works. There's things we can attach to the request called headers, and there's things that we can attach to the response that are headers as well that come back. And there's all kinds of different things we can put in those headers, like cookies. And we can change and set values and read from those and behave and do things differently and trigger the browser to behave differently. But those types of things aren't even on that person's learn the basics of C#, .NET 8, the .NET CLI. Like, there's nothing about HTML here. There's nothing about how a server works. I don't want you to know the minutia of how it works, but what does a server do? Why do we need a server? What's an HTML file? What's static content versus dynamic content? Now we're talking things like solid. This should be at the bottom. I don't want you learning this until you know how to use the tools. Get you in, get you building something. Put a blue square on the screen. Put a form around that blue square with a button that lets you change the color to red. Something like that. So, read the disclaimer. Read the disclaimer. I'm walking back. Fierce Kittens!
Fierce Kittens just resubscribed for 62 months. Can we talk a minute about render mod Blazor? Because OMFG.
Give me 1 second. Let me finish talking about this. I will pin your... Oh, look at this. I'm going to use Tags app for what it's meant for here. And I'm going to grab exactly... You're trying not to derail? You certainly are. That's okay. I'm going to pin that so that I know to come back to it. So, disclaimer, purpose of this roadmap is to give you an idea about the landscape. Roadmap will guide you if you're confused about what to learn next. Missing a lot here. Missing a lot. Completely random list of links and things here. Oh, go learn this. Go learn that. Like, I don't like these types of things. I don't. So, oh, man. I don't know what it is, but something is changing the focus of my mouse. The way that these lessons are put together, not intended to be scary, friendly messages, nice thumbnails that kind of inspire you and point you towards the next thing and give you something that you can relate to, right? So, and I purposely brought this up because it's going to go right into the discussion that Fierce Kittens wants to bring up. Let me catch up and get there. You can't learn the world when you're getting started with development. Yes. Docker basics, Robert Tables. Docker basics, I think, are something important for a developer to learn. But here's the best part for us as .NET developers. You don't need to learn Docker anymore. Because you can .NET publish at the command line and generate a container. It'll do it for you. You don't need it. You can say .NET publish and specify where you wanted to upload, which registry you wanted to upload to, and the .NET command line will generate the container and upload it for you. It's a beautiful thing. It's a fair chance that this is not the path they actually took. I totally agree, Oglius. It does look like the entire ID department, Joey. Yes. And look, I'm not saying that you don't need to know these things. I'm saying for a beginner, this is too much. I'm saying for a beginner, you're missing a whole lot of things here. I'm saying for 2024, there's things on here that I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. That's what I'm saying. Person did work there, might be valuable for some folks. I'm going to disagree as somebody who writes the curriculum for Microsoft Learn and for my own website over there that we're going to use as an example in just a second here. Yet another unorganized list. Y'alls. Yeah. Let's give up on our dreams and become potted plants? No. For very beginners, it can be scarring. Yes. In day-to-day job. So in a day-to-day, if you're sure and you need to figure out what's next, something like that might be valuable. That said, this person still doesn't know and is including things here that they've just stumbled across, it looks like. And I'm going to patently disagree with a lot of that they have there. Hey, how you doing there on YouTube? Abdul Wazia, hello. What is the change in Blazor in 2025? Performance updates. In 2024, there's performance updates. There's compression happening. There's good stuff coming there. Propaganda from Big Gang of Four. True. Let's talk about render mode here with Fierce Kittens. This is something that's important that I want to make sure that we know here. Oh, I don't mind talking about his roadmap for .NET backend. Yeah. That's not bad. It's looks very similar to the other one. Looks very similar. Put warnings before the spells. Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about this. So this is the C# in the Cards website. This is built completely with Blazor. When you create a new Blazor application, and this is what Fierce Kittens was running into yesterday. Let me open a new Visual Studio and go to that source code. When you open and you start a new Blazor application, there are 5 ways you can render content. Static server-side rendered, streaming with static server-side rendered, interactive server, interactive WebAssembly. Those are the 2 that we're used to from previous versions of Blazor before .NET 8. And interactive auto. Interactive auto is the most powerful of these and also the most misunderstood. Let's talk about it. This is the website. And when you take a look at the program CS over here for this, it does a bunch of things to set up, but up here it builds and sets up services, adds Razor components, and then adds interactive WebAssembly components. What this is doing is setting up Blazor so that it knows how to respond to WebAssembly. There's other things that you can pass into there, like add interactive server components. Right? That says we can do things on the server. all that this is doing is setting up the things for dependency injection. It's not actually configuring the website to be able to do that interactive capability yet. And down here at the end, it also includes these entries. And this is where we got a little confused yesterday. Add interactive WebAssembly render mode. So this adds into the middleware the ability to respond when that interactivity is hit. If you don't put this in here, it only acts on static content. Static content, it's just going to generate HTML, send it down to the browser, and that's it. It doesn't listen to any events. So any on mouse over, on click, any of those interactions, it's not going to respond to. Consequently, if you look at my home page over here, I'm using a common library. I've got a repository object that I've passed in. I've got my head content that I've laid out. All of my information here. I've got then, here's the list of recent lessons that we have on the front page. This is all static text. You're not really interacting with it. But here's these recent lessons where I do want interaction. I do want to respond to clicks, right? And this is the discussion we were having with Fierce Kittens yesterday. You want to be able to handle button clicks in these things. Well, I'm going to put that into a component over here to make it easy to manage. And here's that component. But here's the thing. That component needs to be marked interactive. And in order to do that, you put a render mode on it. Interactive WebAssembly in this case. And here's the thing that really throws people off. If you want to be able to deliver code that runs in WebAssembly natively in the browser, it needs to be in a second project. Now, this is one of the things that they're working on for .NET 9 is one project for WebAssembly and server side. But for right now, any components that you want the opportunity to be able to render and run in the client with WebAssembly, you have to put in a second project. Okay. Because I want to force this component to be running as WebAssembly, I have to put a render mode on top of it. Now, I don't have to put it up there. I can take that off, and I can put it on the home page. I can add it here as an attribute to force the render mode of this. Come here. To interactive WebAssembly. It's going to render, so, and that's not even the real value there. That's even hiding something. So render mode, interactive WebAssembly, it's going to render it as WebAssembly, ship it down, and boot up the .NET runtime and run that in the browser. Okay. But when I'm here on the live website, right, it loads up right away and it's just there. Yeah, it's caching it in application storage, right? If you browse to this website from your system and you've never been to this before, it'll render a version of this. It'll pre-render it and attach it inside the page. And once it's done downloading the WebAssembly bits, then it becomes interactive. So Fierce Kittens, what we're seeing here is different ways for you to use Blazor to build and push around how it renders, where the code runs. So this goes back to, it's the Spider-Man principle. With great power comes great responsibility. And folks were begging, I want to be able to run just a little bit of Blazor on a part of my website, and I want to make just this part right here WebAssembly, not the whole thing, because this is just text. Just render and paint the text on the screen. So you can do that. You can do that. But where I wanted to nudge you towards is, like you saw me put render mode there, right? And I'll put the render mode back up here. What you can do, where we had a host file that defined and said, here's the outer layout of the HTML page. That's what app.razor is now, right? It's the outer HTML of the page. And if you look at this, it eventually calls a routes component. There's also a head outlet up here. I've got a bunch of other CSS that's standard throughout the website that I've added on this. You can force globally across the entire application a render mode by decorating this routes component, which is what, right? This is where the output of all your pages lands, is right here. I can force the entire thing by saying render mode equals interactive server, and now the entire website is interactive server. Without a render mode declared, it's static. It won't, like I said, it won't respond to the clicks and on mouse overs and stuff. So they moved our cheese a little bit. Also, if you really want to make the whole thing interactive, you should also put that render mode and matching render mode on head outlet up here. Okay. Interactive server runs on the server, runs like Blazor server side. Not bad. I've been purposely showing how to do things a little bit further. Yeah, you had no clue why the button wasn't working. Totally agree. Totally agree. What I want, what I'm advocating for from the team is a little bit of tooling that shows you what the render mode is of the current page. Because I want you, when you're looking at a page, so here's my moderation page. This page I've marked as interactive WebAssembly mode false. This isn't even interactive WebAssembly mode. This is another interactive WebAssembly mode that doesn't have that turned off the pre-rendering. Don't even worry about that right now. It's WebAssembly is what we're generating. I want an indicator up here. I want an icon that shows that you're in WebAssembly mode, you're in server mode, you're in static mode. And when you do go and put, I'm looking for one of my on clicks here. Where's the buttons? There we go. When you put an on click here, right? I want that icon to interact with an analyzer here that says, whoa, you're trying to do an on click on a label that isn't an interactive mode. Give me a red underline. Give me a red squiggly line or a warning there. Because if you don't know how render mode works, or, right, I've scrolled down how far here. The render mode is gone off this page. I don't remember what render mode I'm on. That might be illegal. So I think there's a tooling assist there that we should deliver. So there, in making Blazor more flexible and more accessible to be able to do all kinds of new ways to interact, they've also made it significantly more difficult to just pick up and run with. Blazor is not trivial anymore. I want an easy mode for Blazor. So Okay. Because, right, that's very disheartening that you're not getting an error message. You're not getting any kind of indicator. When I'm in development mode and I trigger an on click and it no ops, it doesn't do anything, tell me. Tell me why. I'm in development environment. I'm in debug mode. Tell me. Right? That should be like an informational log message. On click was triggered, but we're not in an interactive mode. Done. Right? And it's one of those things that after you learn it, you'll be a little bit more aware as you go around and try to handle it. So let me catch up a couple other messages here. We want to build a project with me from scratch with a Blazor-like chat app. So that's a little bit of what we're doing with TagsApp. That's a fair bit of what's going on here with TagsApp. So you ran into that when changing render modes? Yeah. So there you go. Steve Elliott is our friend there who's working on the Blazor social media service. Definitely has a lot of experience with Blazor. That would only be useful on a component that specifies its own render mode, though. I would not advise, not just on a component that specifies its own render mode, but a page that overrides its render mode, right? So throughout TagsApp, there are places where I'm forcing render mode on some components. The messages that appear here, I'm forcing to be WebAssembly. Yes, pages are components. Yep. Double refresh when using interactive render mode still needs a bit of work. So you're talking about the pre-render. The pre-render issue. Yes. So that would let a baseline web page be presented first, the interactive. Yep, you got it, Ragged Reese. And that's exactly what I'm doing when you look at the C# in the cards website. You saw it blink there real quick. It showed here's the pre-rendered content and swapped it out with the WebAssembly version, the interactive one that lets us navigate around. But this is a static website. Once it's delivered to you, you clicking around here, you're in the browser at that point. Nothing new is loading. All of the content is on your machine at that point. So did that answer and help talk through some of the situation here? You're only on CSS at the moment? That's okay. We're doing a bit of CSS here today because we're building... You're not derailing at all. Don't worry about that. You're A-okay. We're building an ability to load background images here. And I was trying to get... I completely forget where I left off. I was trying to get the C# logo to pop in there. And the style that it put up... Data... Okay, image PNG, base 64. And it's not there. Right, there's that base 64 encoding. It's gigantic. I should find a smaller image. Do I need to put that in quotes? Because that should have filled in there. Wait a sec. What happened there? The background size is not rendering properly. Come here. Well, it's not rendering properly because you screwed it up, Fritz. I'm just take this out for right now. Yeah, there it goes. All right. All right. Still got to work on background position, background size. Ship it, right? So, and it's a transparent background, so the blue still comes through. Not bad. And this is my modal customization page, and I've marked this as interactive server so that as I update, things are happening on the server, right? And then it repaints in the browser. And I've made different pages behave differently because there's different levels of interactivity inside TagsApp. The admin pages, for the most part, are static, right? When I look at the list of users, static. I don't need to have interactivity here. The list of providers, static. You're going to set configuration, save it, and I'm going to restart a provider afterwards. There is no interactivity here. But this modal customization, now we're talking. Hey, Junie Vinesh. Well, a little bit. So I'll choose the image. There it is, and it pops it in the box. What are my other options? I should have a drop down here for the other options for how we want to present the image. So CSS, right? Is it background size? Right? So cover and position, and then there's also the repeat, right? Cover, contain, yeah. What are my options here? Let's put together a little combo box, right? Because we have repeat, and then there's wanting to be able to change the size of it here. No, get back. There we go. Yeah, contain and cover. What do they do? There we go. Auto, length, contain, cover, contain, initial, inherit. Resize the background to cover the entire. Contain, resize the background image to make sure it's fully visible. Okay. So if I put... I was here. Right. Background size? Was that it? Yeah. Come on. Background image size. No. Thank you, Copilot. Why aren't you formatting? What doesn't it like there? Background image size, yeah. I put it right there. Oh, it's just background size. All right, fine. Background. Ugh. And here. So now, go find that image. There's the image. Wait, what? Oh, it didn't save the thing. All right. There it is. Oh. Yeah. It hot reloaded and the circuit broke. No. Reload. You got around it at the moment by using streaming rendering on the home page. There you go. So streaming rendering is another thing where as content is being completed, painted on the screen. And I feel like that's kind of misunderstood also. So All right, so there's the original content. So choose the image. There it is. It's set to cover. If I change it to contain, okay. I need to turn off repeat, right? So we need a checkbox for background repeat. This is so good. This is so good. Background image repeat. That should be a Boolean, and let's set it to false to start. Thank you. Thank you. Copilot just filling in stuff for us. So good. So good. Can you give me the repeat? No, I want repeat. Background, image, repeat. Yup. Give me a combo box, a checkbox for that. No. Input type equals checkbox. What the heck? That's it. There. And now it repeats. Nice. Opacity? I don't know. We also need position, right? And what are the options we have for background position? The position? So by default placed in the top left and repeated. Yeah, what are my options? Left top, center, center, center. Sure. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens if we start adding those values, right? So background image position. Let's start this. Oh, come on, man. So opacity may be a thing. I want to get just basics done where you can either choose a background image or you can choose a color to go with it. Basics. Complete customization of all the CSS styles I will leave for somebody else to help out with. So is it gonna... No, I don't want background color. I want background image. Background... Thank you. And let's go over here. Yep, background position. Here we go. Yep. Bind on config background image position. Come on now, give me some options. Give me some options. You can do it. No? Yep. Come on. Sure. Right? Those were some of ours? No, that's not it. It's left, right, center. And then center, top, bottom. It goes left, top. Left, center. There we go. Left, bottom. Yep. Next should be right top, right center, right bottom. Sure, keep going. We want the center ones now. Give me those. Oh, come on, man. Center, center. Center, bottom. So, not repeating, and I want it in center, center. Save that. So, now if I go back over to the waterfall display, I'm not having it save the image yet, so the image isn't in there. Okay. Need to finish saving the image. So when you do click Save Changes, I need to save the background image mime type. No. Background image mime type. Right. Yep, there we go. I don't need that anymore. I can leave my little guard clause there, and we'll still figure that out in a bit. And we need to pass that in as well. No, up here. String new image mime type. Seriously, yep, there we go. And this I'll replace with new image mime type. Now, it's not actually using that on the waterfall page yet. Now it is. Okay, so when I do save over here, right, I'm actually going to specify the background image equals and the mime type only at save time. Could I do a pair of input type equals range that translate to the 0 to 100% on X and Y? Sure. Sure. Absolutely. I'm only copying. Yeah. If I just type something in there. Now, why isn't that text appearing? Like, that text should still be appearing. Right? Let me refresh. My solution works great. Thank you, DGen1. Because I broke it. Unclose tag DD on line 58. You're right. That's why it wasn't running, because it wasn't running. Like, there's a lot more that we can put in here. No doubt. Tons we can do with this. And I am all about that. There we go. Right? But I can delete that. And I can grab my background image. There it is. I want it to be contained. Put it right in the center. Save that change. And now if I go back over to the waterfall screen, refresh. And we pop open a message. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And I can go back into my modal config and I can... How can I remove the background image? Right? Because when I come back in next time, if I don't specify a background image... Seems closer to top and bottom. It's because of the size of the image. Like, there isn't that much space above and below. So, I mean, I could make the image bigger and it'll create more padding there. I don't think that's something that we should do as TagZap developers. Let it be that way, and we'll you can just make your image bigger, right? So, but how, if you want to upload a new image, right? First off, this is getting cluttered. I'm running into I'm hitting a clutter issue here. If I click Save Changes Now, no background image was loaded. It's going to wipe out the image. Right. So let's put a button here that says add new image and put a cancel next to this also, so that you have to open and say, yes, I want to. The challenge is right here. When do I know to remove the background image? When do I know to skip updating the background image? So here, with the delete function. Yeah, that's... Well, at the top of preview, I don't want to put it there. I want to put it next to the background image configuration. I want... Not one. There you go. No. Remove background. No, I want the bootstrap icon for... No! X icon... for remove existing image. And let's say if, yeah. Actually, I don't even need a button on that. Remove background image. Sure. Actually, I'm going to make them string.empty. Okay. I'm going to need a cancel changes button as well. Thank you. And that's just going to reload the configuration. Modal configuration. Cool. Does eye on click work for the keyboard? I'll get to accessibility things later. Probably not. But, right, we can make it a tab stop. There's a whole accessibility pass that we'll do. Right, so... Right, that I don't like that X. And... That's not doing anything. Force a rebuild. Saysax, hello, welcome. I'm getting messages here from my daughter. She's getting bullied a little bit here by some of the teachers at the high school. Yeah, that's not doing anything. You need at least larger click area. I kind of agree with you, and I'm thinking where'd it go? I'm thinking that's not working. Come on, man. It should be calling remove background image on click of that. So here we go. This is exactly what Fierce Kittens was running into. So yeah, trash can image wouldn't be too bad either. Bootstrap, trash can image. Thank you. It's there, but I'm running into the same thing that Fierce Kittens was seeing, where is it actually triggering the Yeah, right there. So, right, this is what she was doing yesterday. I'm going to do the same thing. Oh, come on, man. Removing background image. It says hot reload succeeded. Trying to remove the image, but it didn't clear it out of here. Why? Are programmers rich in developing countries? Asks Saysax. There's definitely opportunity for that. Yes. Are all programmers rich? No. But there's a greater opportunity for it. Yes. Did it remove the CSS? So, before I get to Mr. Magoo has the right question there. So my daughter is being told, no, it didn't remove the CSS. We need to update that. My daughter's being told that she's being required to fill out and do some college entrance things. The school is requiring her to do that. She's already been accepted. And she's accepted her her entrance to West Virginia University. She doesn't need to do anything else. She needs to graduate. While the school is threatening that if she doesn't do these things, they won't pass her on the class. Oh, you did not just ask for Dad to call the office. Let's go. Let's go. You're welcome, Saysax. So I'll throw a state as changed in there, but I don't think it's gonna do the gimmick. Yeah. Something's missing there. Yeah, like, here we go. Right? So, no, turn off the... And it's not clearing that out. What if... Where is it? Right there. If I put that in a property, I can force it to update. Demo CSS. I'm going to put a get on this and a set. Start it with nothing and go... No, I've already got config. Actually, I have to do this on parameter set, don't I? No, it's being injected. No, we're okay. That's it. That's it right there. Because it's the empty string. It's not. It didn't remove it yet. Okay. Okay. I didn't need to do that. I figured it out. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Leave it the way it is. I don't need this. I don't really need the uninitialized, do I? Do I? Oh, this school has been... my daughter is Caucasian. She is in the minority at the school. She's treated differently because of what my family is able to provide her. Me and our family, what we're able to provide her. And what she's able to do and what she's accomplished. There have been times where she has been treated differently because of the color of her skin. I have not brought it up and pointed that out, but that has happened. And there are a number of situations where they've insisted that she follow and participate in things for after high school prep that she doesn't need because she's already been accepted and qualified and has agreed to admission at a university. However, the school is threatening to punish her if she doesn't participate. Maybe admin nav should collapse into a hamburger. Could be. Do I have the right to request a copy of all personal information? That is a fantastic idea, Mr. Magoo. So, isn't there a case for her doing the applications for the case of doing the applications, not for the result of getting accepted? No, there isn't a case for it at all. They required her to fill out applications and send information to schools that she had zero interest in. And I've been getting flyers from these folks for a long time. No. We're already done. We've been done that since August. Go away. How would they punish her? They're going to automatically fail her for a class. They're going to prevent her from participating in after-school activities. They're going to withhold her transcript. This happened to my other daughter. They withheld her transcript as she was trying to start university. They withheld her transcript because we didn't go through the processes that the school insisted on when we already had admission agreed to, as well as financing arranged and taken care of. Yeah, somebody's on a kickback, all right. They don't have any power. You have no power over me. My daughter's already accepted to a school. We don't need you to do anything else except for allow her to finish high school. Period. If she wants to participate in activities, if she wants to try to go out and take extra tests and things, that's up to her. She's passed all of her qualifications needed. She's earned all of her credits necessary to graduate. She's literally playing out the next 3 months. Go away. Go away. I'm not giving you any problems. Go away. Stop giving me problems. This is the same school that I've offered to donate training time and computers to, and they said no. Go away. You don't have our children's interest at heart. You don't have our community's interest at heart. No, this is the high school I'm talking about. When my daughter is graduated high school, I'm going to be writing an extensive blog post and letter to the editor of the local newspaper, because these people need to be put in their place. The school board, the high school, they don't know what they're doing. So, okay, so the CSS with background image, the issue that I'm having here is right? I do this if null is null or empty, then don't do anything. I need to be able to pass in and say remove this. So let's change this. Let's change this to be if the string is is null or white space? No. I want it to be if the string is empty, right? Then output the background image. Otherwise, output new image. But if we pass in null, exactly. Stop trying to meddle with things that don't have anything to do with the education that you're providing. We're done. We've already completed. We've moved on. You don't need to do anything else to help us move on past the school. That's it. It's up to her if she wants to do extra credit things, if she wants to attempt to do other things, participate in advanced placement tests, all of those types of activities. If she wants to apply for scholarships, she better apply for scholarships. You don't get in the way. That has nothing to do with you. I'm not asking for special treatment. I'm asking you to stay in your lane. Period. If we are removing these, I'm going to pass null into this. And I want it to have an empty string here, which should then remove it. So this is going to give me so if new image is null, right, it's not empty string, it's going to put the null values in there. So what I'm going to do here is do this. And that should do it. Or not. What? If you click the trash can, I need to change it so it sets it to null. I also don't need status changed here. I don't think it actually rebuilt. No, it didn't rebuild. Let's do that again. Your high school tried to stop you from going to university event for high school students, an information systems weekend thing. It's an over weekend thing. Yeah, come on, man. When I was a kid in high school, I went on over the summer. I went on tours, visited a couple schools, filled out applications, sent them out myself. And the counseling office got very upset that I didn't use their facility to send out applications and stuff. I just went in and said, hey, can you send a copy of my transcript to Penn State University? That's where I'm attending. They're like, wait, you can't attend Penn State University. I'm like, what do you mean I can't attend? Well, you didn't fill out the forms and stuff to go there. I'm like, I sent an application. Here's my acceptance letter. Send the transcript. They're like, that's not how you're supposed to do that. I'm like, you're going to tell me I can't go to school? Well, no. Send the transcript. And they did. But they got really upset at me. And consequently, they didn't list that I was going to Penn State University in any of the graduation materials. I had a full ride to Penn State University. Full scholarship. Did not include any of that information. I had zero consideration for end of year awards and stuff. Because I went and did things on my own. There we go. That cleared it out. Cancel. And cancel should probably not just set the config, but I should probably also set those. No. The background. Background image equals, no. It was right there. Right? There, little check that it reloaded. And cancel. Ah, there we go. And delete. Yeah! You can't attend Penn State. I didn't get the check. That's right. Particularly bad you didn't know schools pulled. Oh, there's all kinds of shenanigans. And I've told the school board directly, I'm not doing anything with you until my daughter graduates. Because I know that your staff has they file retribution, and they hold people to task if you don't do things the way they want. I am not doing a thing to interact with you until after my daughter graduates. Yep, because they didn't get credit. You got it. What did they get? Don't know. Don't know. And cancel, and it appears again. Okay. So let's say if I delete this and I say this in from chat, right? Why didn't it give me a carriage return there? Well, that's weird. I haven't seen that before. Refresh. That save operation didn't work. My daughter has an IEP as well, individual education program or plan. Having to take her out of public school because they can't provide education she needs. Yeah, I'm so sorry you have to go through that. That is awful. She needs a smaller environment to learn in. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to, unfortunately, we as parents have to take other steps to help our kids. And it can be frustrating, and it can be very expensive at times too. So, hey, Xcoding, hello. So, why am I getting that? Is it because no, that /A should be honored. There's the style for it. There's, oh, is it the background image screwing it up? Like, well, let's go back over to here. Right, if you don't have a background image, we shouldn't emit any of this stuff. Right? I don't need these notes anymore. If string is null or empty, background image. Yep, do that. Says it hot reloaded. Refresh. What demo stands for? What demo? I'm not going to get into politics. This isn't... Yeah, I'm not sure what is going on there. And if I go back over to waterfall view, refresh. Yeah, what's it? What happened there? That feels like a CSS rendering issue. Content, this is /A from chat. Should I replace it with /A space? Yeah. Demonstration. Yes, we're demonstrating things. So All right, so we're learning something here about the way /A works. Yeah. Let's replace, when I did that, there's blah, 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 blah. When I do the replace with the /A here, right? I'm going to put a space in front of it. No, I'm going to put a space after it. There it is. Ha-ha, look at that. All right. Right? So, and if I upload my background image, right? Background image. Now, that should have set the background image and done a thing. Let's see. Oh. Here. New image. There it is. So, right, I'm letting you have an image and text and let you choose which one you want, right? Contain, center, sure. Save changes. And now I have the ability to remove the background image. I should hide this. Like, put two buttons here, add and delete. Right? If you want to work on Tags app locally, do you need Docker? No, you do. You don't. However, it's set up to work with Postgres. You can install and run Postgres locally. Putting Postgres inside a container is really easy to get started with it. And that actually points to another issue that I want to address of I want to get the SQLite data storage working. And that's not wired up currently. If I turn on the repeat, yeah. That's not bad. That's not bad. For a simple, just configure the back of the thing, that's not bad. Why aren't you loading? Did I break something? I bet I did. Is it? Yeah, hot reload. Do the hot reload deal. Do I have a link? Check it out. Jason, on YouTube, in the description area just below, there's a link through to the GitHub repository for this. You can download a copy. You can take a look at the issues, the pull requests that I'm working on. It's not running somewhere publicly right now. Yeah, I got to reload the background image. Didn't. No, it says there is an image. Go reload. The trash can isn't hiding after I remove it. Save change. Back over here, refresh. Yeah. And yeah, see there it was cover and it's right, it's not the right size. We want contain. Save that. Refresh over here. And now it fits right. So right, but we were seeing if you click the trash can, right, we should, yeah, now the trash can goes away. Yeah, I think that's okay. I think so. This in from chat. Right, so save that, back over here, refresh the waterfall. And there we go. I'm going to push that. I'm going to push that out. I'm pretty happy with how that functions. We've had some great conversations today around this stuff, not going to lie. I've really enjoyed chatting about this. Completed initial background image uploader and config. I love the idea about the ideas about adding sliders so you can set position of things. Are you kidding? Merge conflict. No, not the extensions. I want the right over here. Resolve and... I feel like I'm due for a reboot here. You know what I'm saying? So... Everything looks fine. Complete. Git push. And I'm going to merge that in. There it is, reloading. Here's the pull request. Thank you. And that'll give us an initial customization of it. Yeah. Yep. So that's my personal branch that includes the changes that I've been working on. End of line. I agree, Crash Systems. It's supposed to be taking care of that automatically for me. But there's absolutely something there that should be addressed. I'm done with coffee and I'm not switching to scotch yet, so we're gonna grab an Alani. Ah, there we go. Yeah, it's gets config. Here we go. I should change the text of that description so it's not starting on color pickers in format. Can we change that? And it, yes. So let's change that. Added modal window style options. And if folks out there, if you want to help add new features to this, if you want to help improve this, add new capabilities to it, there were some great ideas around putting gradients and different things for image position. Maybe you just want to put a watermark in a corner, something like that, with a gradient. There's tons of ways that we can optimize and make this really, really flexible and cool to do. If you want to do a little bit of design, right? If you want to just improve this little configuration window that I have here, and I'll close that, right? You want to help improve this? Totally on board with that. This is all open source. You're welcome to download and tinker with it, and see what you think. So, let's see. That should have finished. I see a check up there. Yep. Squash and merge. Push that thing out there. Squash it out. Push it out. Way out. Woo! Everything went away. Squash it out. Push it out. Way out. There we go. All right. We got it. Some of the things that we're spoken about? Yeah. Totally. Do me a favor, Lanky Scottish Nerd. Just create an issue and list those couple of items that you're working on. So that, and I'll assign you to it, you know, hey, and list, assign me to this, and we'll put you on that. That way, anybody else that's looking at the project that might be interested in contributing to that or have some feedback about what you're building, they can get in touch with you, and we know that you're leading that effort, okay? And if somebody comes in and says, oh, I added this thing over here, well, Lanky Scottish Nerd is working on that. Talk to them. So, you kind of new? Not a problem. Real easy. Jump into issues up here. Click the new issue button. And just, you know, a top line summary of what you're going to do. And then you can either describe it or put a bulleted list of here are the things that I'm going to improve down here. And just as a last line, right? Please assign me to this issue. And I'll assign you. So it'll appear and reflect that you're working on it. Then you can go work and we'll take back your updates later. So appreciate, folks that want to contribute. There's Blazor Mr. Magoo sent over some updates the other day. And you can see a list of some of the contributors here. To note, if you go back and watch .NET Conf, we used Tags App extensively throughout the event. At the end of the event, I read everybody's name that contributed to Tags App as a thank you to close out the event. So that's the least I could do for our open source contributors out there. So there you go. That's merging in and getting updated. It's 12 o'clock. Do I want to work on the queue or do I want to work on Discord? Like, I'm kind of going out of order on my milestones that I've got to find here. Like, milestone 4 has a couple of documentation things left here. And a icon bit that our friend Junie Von Esch is working on, and she's got some starting parts there. Right, did I actually include it? No, I didn't. I have the initial draft icon somewhere, and I don't want to go try and dig it up right now. But what should be, I'm skipping milestone 5. Milestone 6. So there's Discord. A NuGet package for some of the common shared things. This I think we kind of did. Yeah, we did, but because I changed it to password. Oh, blur content from blocked users. Oh, let's do this real quick. Let's do this. This isn't too bad, right? So a CSS blur, not blue, blur text. Not great blurry text in CSS. So I really like this idea because if there's content that's been rejected, let's blur it so that you don't have to read it unless you want to. And I feel like that might even be a configuration option at some point down the line. Personal configuration to blur content by default. Hey there, is it Daddy Omen? I'll read your message here. Let me do this and bring in the changes. Yep, push those out. Yeah, I know. And I'm going to delete feature back of modal. There we go. Fortunately, we no, you can rebuild, and then I'll be able to take those messages. I should be able to. I'm not sure I got learners, but I think I have Daddy Omens. Yeah, there it goes. This one always takes a little bit longer, and I wonder what's in there that it's doing. So let me take that question. Yep, go ahead, refresh. And let's make it purple. Because I like... Yeah, that's a good one. And here. Get it reconnected. No, I just approved that one. It's supposed to go on the home page. Right there. Currently 16 and learning C#. Awesome. That's great. How many hours do you think you should put in a day to practice coding? I appreciate that type of question because when I was in high school, when I was in school, right, there was always a focus on how many hours should you spend practicing for soccer, for baseball, for football. I know I said soccer, but I'm going to say football also. And if you're American, you mean the gridiron. If you're outside the States, I mean international football, association football. So it just kind of works. Anyways, but there's always this focus on how much time should I spend practicing, right? Quick fire. I love that response. But when you're young and you're growing up, how many hours, right? You should spend 2 hours a day out kicking the football and getting the feel and appreciating and having in your head and getting that foot-eye coordination of how the ball moves and how you juggle it. So, right? This is what I would say to you about practicing and thinking about programming. Write code and as long as you feel happy about it. Write code until you finish a feature. Write code until you complete a piece of magic. What do I mean by a piece of magic? Till you finish a feature, right? Because that way you've learned something and you've accomplished something and you can hang your hat on it. Look at what I did, right? I called Mrs. C# Fritz over last night while I was tinkering a little bit with that same moderation demo screen that you see here, because there was a little piece of magic to it. Check this out. I can go in here and I can change a color and it immediately updates over here. That's so cool. And I can change the font, right? And it changes immediately there. That's so cool. I can make it bold by just checking a box. It's that little bit of magic that the non-developer, right? The non-technical person, the person who hasn't been working on this project with you, the person who hasn't been watching over your shoulder, your other project team members, they're going to look at that and go, hey, that's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. So I completed a little bit of a feature. I could show it to someone, in this case, my wife. Hey, check this out. I can now configure the way that appears, that message appears, right? And when I refresh and bring in, because it's a configuration thing, it now has that new configuration and I can share it. So I wouldn't say you must code for at least 2 hours. Code as long as you feel happy and you complete at least one feature, or, right, you complete one piece of magic that you can show someone and they're going to, that's pretty cool. And I always think about software like that, right? I think about the non-technical folks that are tuning in, that are seeing us on Twitch, and they're going, wow, what's going on in this programming stream over here with this guy Fritz who's got text up on the screen like that? And they tune in, and I know we have a couple friends that are watching the stream because they like hearing me explain things. There's folks that tune in just because they like listening to my voice, and that's okay. But there are folks that tune in because they don't know a lot about software and they want to learn something. And I want to be accessible to folks so that they learn and they see that magic. Just the CSS of getting that to spin around, that little bit right there, that's not a feature that you learn in school. That's a little bit of magic. How do you do that? Code's open source. I showed you where the code is for this little modal dialogue. You can go and read how to do it to get that little spin thing to work. It's so cool. It's so easy to do. Practice until you feel you built a little bit of magic. And then you're going to build on top of that the next day. And you're going to find something else that's a cool feature that you add. and so on and so forth. And when you watch streams like mine, and there's other folks with great streams that are building things, and you can tune in and check them out. Check out my friend Code Rushed, who's working with voice interpretation and transcribing what you dictate into code in Visual Studio. Awesome stuff. And it's just a little bit of magic he adds each day, and it stacks, and cool new things happen. Do what makes you happy and be consistent. Absolutely, learner. As long as it makes you happy, spend some time on it. You don't have to spend time every day. Don't spend too much time. I think there's a minimum amount of time you should spend. Spend at least a half an hour. If you're practicing and learning and you're trying to push yourself forward, spend at least a half an hour trying something new on something that you're trying to grow and do for yourself. I spend 4 hours, at least 2 days a week here live streaming. We spent about 7 or 8 hours yesterday streaming, and that was a marathon, not going to lie. There are other folks on Twitch that spend 6, 8, 10, 12 hours a day streaming. If you look at our friend Pirate Software, he spends at least 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 days a week streaming. That's a lot. I don't care who you are. That's a lot. He's at a point where he's the most subscribed to channel on Twitch. That's his job now. He's making enough that that's his job. But that's different. There's only going to be one person who can have the most amount of subscribers on Twitch. He's done a phenomenal job getting there. But it was a road to get there, and a lot of content he created. Folks can do that. You can do that. It takes work. Lanky Scottish Nerd is 33 with 4 kids. Hindsight is 20/20 and time is precious. Yes. Do not waste it. I'm in my late 40s. My second daughter's about to go away to college. Time is very precious. You've got one shot at this. You can change later, but you've got one shot at life. Make it a good one. Do things that make you happy. Programming makes me happy. It's put food on my table for years. It's paying for 2 kids to go to college. It's bought a number of vehicles for me. It's put a nice house over my head. It started as a hobby, just like A.V. Guerra is saying there. Yeah. Take your time, figure out what you like, what you don't like, and you'll get somewhere. If you're really trying to learn, Crash System says it shouldn't be hard to sit down and do it, depending on how quick you pick it up. Totally. A half an hour to an hour, I think, is a minimum. I wouldn't spend more than 3 or 4 hours. So. It's not just his job. He's now buying a house and land. Is he? And he's trying to open a ferret sanctuary with capacity for 100 ferrets. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I don't remember. I don't recall if he has a family. But there's a point that you reach with content creation. I lean in and I rely on my job with Microsoft. I could certainly create a lot more content, spend time editing, pushing more content on YouTube, be more easily discovered, and engage more folks. I could absolutely do that. But I have a family and a job with Microsoft. And I rely on that for my security. I could totally spend more time and double the amount of work that I'm putting in. Could totally do that. Right now, it's not in the cards. Next year, when I don't have 2 daughters living at home, might be different. So, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Totally. I would love to spend Friday morning playing Overwatch on stream. Is that something folks would be interested in, watching me play Overwatch? Maybe. Don't code until your eyes hurt. Oh my gosh, no, don't do that. I was referencing Pirate Software. So, Thank you, Urban Blaster. Skylex says, I started learning C# with WinForms. Let me go to the moderation screen here. Started learning C# with WinForms. After 2 years, I decided to switch to WPF and Blazor. Okay. Not an easy task, but something you have to go through it to learn something cool. Learning and shifting between the various user interface frameworks shouldn't be hard. Shouldn't be hard. There's definitely things you have to learn, but you do need to spend time going through it. You'd love to see me playing Among Us with some of the contemporaries? Okay. I was playing Overwatch. I was one of the guests on the team playing with Imperial last night. Probably gonna do that again next week. But I might play Overwatch on Friday morning. Like, why not? Community gaming session? Maybe. That's not too bad either. We used to do Connect 4 here on stream, but that folks got a little very competitive on that. Fall Guys? Oh no. I am the world's worst Fall Guys player. I played Fall Guys on and off. That was released during the pandemic. I played it on and off for 3 or 4 months, and I did not get a single win. I still don't have a win in Fall Guys. Salty? A little bit. I'm a little bit salty. Not gonna lie. So, have I ever done any work on RTOS or microcontrollers? Nope. Nitro Racing. Oh. Yeah, we should do some Nitro Racing at some point. We should. Not gonna lie. All right. Let me go back to that blur. That blur feature. Right, so feature, we're gonna blur rejected messages. Right, so if you're a moderator, you don't have to read all the garbage coming in. Here's the deal. Here's why that I'm really interested in building that. Right, so I can close that. So where this really came in during .NET Conf, where we ran, yeah, where we ran TagsApp, and I feel like maybe maybe I should build and deploy a TagsApp instance that's running for this stream. Hey, PowerShell Freak.
PowerShell_Freak just resubscribed for 51 months.
Thank you so much for 51 months, and I'll make another donation to the American Cancer Society. During .NET Conf, the hashtag .NET Conf on Twitter was trending. Consequently, there were folks that started to pile on and just include .NET Conf in their messages. We were getting all kinds of hate messages from folks. They weren't sending it to our event, but they were trying to get noticed for their messages of hate. Fortunately, the automatic rendering of the automatic moderation caught most of those. We also had a number of scantily clad people promoting their OnlyFans accounts and tagging .NET Conf. Those were rejected automatically as well. Offering a capability to say, you know what, block content that's automatically rejected. That's been rejected. That's not a bad thing, right? Biggie Mons, hello. Thank you for following. Appreciate you joining us. So, look, these things happen, right? This is what happens. This is right. We have a very large society that TagsApp is listening to. Having a little bit of automatic moderation is a good thing. Robert Tables, you point something out there that I should have picked up on. It would be nice. when I configure Twitch chat over here to have some sort of a button that says grant channel moderators moderator access to TagZap. No, Surly Dev, we don't have that feature yet. That's a good idea as well, right? Like, let's add a couple issues here real quick. Like, allow Twitch moderators for the channel to be invited. Invite Twitch moderator. To be moderators on TagZap. Let's add a button to the Twitch provider. What am I doing? Let's add a button to the Twitch provider user interface that allows detection of the current moderators in the Twitch channel and sends them an invite to participate as a moderator on TagZap. There we go. That's a cool enhancement. I'm not going to say it's a good first issue, but somebody wants to like take a look at it, go for it. Feature chat should have that from the get-go. Not going to lie, that's a great idea. Let me see. Auto-ignore phrases links. I like that also. Add auto-ignore phrases and links. As a moderation feature, comma, provide a list of phrases and URLs that should be ignored. There's something that's changing focus automatically on my Windows machine, and I need to reboot and get rid of it. I don't think it's that, but I'll close it. That should be automatically rejected. And remember, reject on TagZap just puts a red border on things and a red background on it, and means that you need to put a second step into adding it in and being approved. That's not a bad issue to add as well. Assuming there's a moderator dashboard to see it all and override. There is. So, crash systems. That is, so here I am inside the application. Since I'm an administrator, I have access to the moderation screen, which you've seen me tinkering with this screen a little bit. And moderation is real easy. You mouse over, or you can actually use the keyboard, right? And you can keyboard around. Check mark to approve, red X to reject, and then there's other actions over here. This is the way it was inside of the previous web application. I think we can turn this into a modal dialogue, so that it pops up here, and here's a list of things you can do with this message. Right now, the only option is to block the user. So right now, I have stream elements marked as a blocked user on Twitch, so that it automatically pops up and we can see kind of here's something that was rejected. If you do try to approve it, it pops up a confirmation, and I'm just using the standard JavaScript approve. Hey, are you sure you want to approve this? Cancel, and it doesn't approve it. But the only content that goes through to the waterfall is content that's been marked green. And you can, of course, go look at just the rejected messages as well. You want to look at just the approved? Sure, we can do that too. So, and of course, show me everything, or show me just the things that need review. Boom. So, let's see. Feature chat should have that from the get-go. So I don't think if I approve things here, it'll throw it off the screen. Right? Depending on how AutoMod. So AutoMod is very good. It is really good at detecting assume. We ran a test. Javier Lozano, my co-producer of .NET Conf, we ran a test for the AutoMod going into .NET Conf. And we did. We typed things like assume, and it let that through. But then we we wrote some text, saying, something about Gaza, something about Israel, and it rejected those. They weren't swearing, but they were saying, we were saying things like, they should attack Gaza or something. I don't want to get into it. And very aggressive towards one side or the other. And it caught those and automatically rejected them. So, when do we port this to Python? Oh, man. Really? What auto capitalizes? Oh, the dictation? Yeah. Blazor app seems to be very interesting. It is. Blazor is very interesting. What do I think of the idea of centralized content tagging? Democratized system that would allow for content of any kind, categorization, and this could be used for filters. The challenge with that is the sheer size of what you need. Nice idea. I like it. The sheer size and the number of folks that would be working as a moderator to do that. It's a lot. And you don't want to be dealing with a lot. Let's go to the reject. I think we can do this pretty quickly. To blur content. So text shadow and blurry text. That seems pretty easy to do. With a CSS filter property. So doing WebKit filter blur. So let's see what that looks like. So if I go to like 5, right? 5 is good. 8? How's 8? That's not bad. So if I think I can just copy this in, right? I might be able to do this. I might be able to do this a little bit too quickly. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, reload. Hey there. Welcome in, Jay. Hello. The problem that we're going to have here is... Right, so there's where it's putting the word rejected. I want to put it on the text inside the box. Right. So there it is. There's the profile picture, the byline, the time. There, the content. Right? So 115. So if I say, oh, yeah, right there. No. No. Get rid of that. And then go back here and grab. No. Put that on. And let's make it 5 to start here. But clearly it does what I'm looking for. There you go. But now the challenge is, well, how do I see it if it's been rejected? Let's go back up here. Hey, Eric. Good to see you. Can Blazor manipulate the DOM now? Nope. Nope. It can manipulate what it generates. Are there any big apps that started using Blazor? Yes. John Galloway is here. Hello, my friend. We're going to be raiding over to John and the ASP.NET community stand-up. I'm going to flag that message there. Right, so I can bring that up. There you go. For the authentication to log in from Twitch, no, I'm not using Azure pre-built. No, I have it. I've added the authentication provider into Blazor, into the Blazor application. Source code is available. This is an open source project. This type of thing, I'm sure John and I will talk more about. But where is it? Microsoft ASP.NET Core authentication, Google, Microsoft accounts, GitHub, LinkedIn. Those authentication providers are there. I don't have a user interface that lets you configure them. You kind of have to put them in yourself using the standard ways you configure that for ASP.NET. It's not required right now. I think there's options to improve that. So, but I don't have login for Twitch. This is configuring an API to connect in. Make sure you check out that Blazor showcase. There are a bunch of folks that are building and doing some very cool stuff with Blazor. I turned off the select there. There's also a very large list of customers of applications that are being built with Blazor that they don't want to share that they're building with Blazor. They don't like to share what technologies they're using to build certain applications because they see it as a security effort to keep it quiet what they're using to build their various tools and websites. I need to turn mouse without borders back on here so I can, no, not 2-row, no. So I can keep up over here. Yeah, we're good. Is TagZap running as simple as cleaning the repo and running a Docker compose command? There is a build DB, run DB. If you have Docker installed inside, oh, there we go. Inside the scripts folder, there is a run database, launch database command that you can run. Here's the Windows version of it. That will set up and configure a Postgres container for you. Then just drop into the Blazor project and .NET run inside of here. I want to make that easier for folks. I want to make that really easy for folks to do. But we're getting there. So, but you'll be able to run it. It'll prompt you for, hey, how would you like to configure? It'll go through a startup process. Actually, no, because you'll have the dev version because you're running in dev mode. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. So it'll connect to the local container that's configured with that launch DB command. And it'll jump right into search for a tag. How do you want to configure to listen to Twitch? How do you want to configure? And Mastodon's the easiest one to set up. Mastodon is pretty much set up for you. It's real easy to drop in. Here's the Mastodon instance I want to connect to, and it'll be off and running. Mastodon's free to connect and listen to. Twitter is a paid service. Twitch is free to listen to. YouTube is... Don't look at the YouTube stuff right now. We're rewriting that. But we're getting... There's a dev container that's about to be submitted that'll make it real easy to start running with this in a container locally. I think there's a Aspire bindings coming in the next few weeks that we'll do. I want to do Aspire next week. I want to do it next week. Anyways, if I go look at the rejected ones, it does the blur. I feel like I need a click here that's going to allow me to see what's underneath the blur. I don't want to add another button to that. Maybe I change the reject to an eyeball and it turns it off. Yeah. Enter at your own risk, right? You want to see what this is? Click here and we'll reveal just that one. So there already is a CSS hover that does this. That puts the moderation panel up. So what I'm thinking is, we already know it's rejected. You can't reject a rejected message a second time. So maybe I swap that out with a reveal button. That's not too bad, right? So that's in a moderation message. Come on. Why is it taking so long to open? Come on. Get to... There it was. Moderation message.Blazor. So here's the panel that pops up. So instead of reject, if it's already rejected, there's nothing to moderate. Reveal and approve. I don't want to be able to unreject. I want to keep that the reject happened. Because the stuff's either pending, it hasn't been looked at, and a moderator hasn't made a decision on it. It's been approved. Yes, put this available for hosts to be able to interact with. Or it's rejected. You can't go from rejected to pending. You go from rejected to approved. So if I put... Right, I could put a thing here. No. No. Is it state? What's the property? No! Yeah, state. Not bad. If it's rejected, otherwise I'll give you a reject button. I'm going to change this. Bootstrap icon for an eye. Oh, come on. You know what that is. Nope. Not going to find it. Bootstrap icon for an eye. There it is. That one. It's BI-I. Fantastic. BI-I title. Reveal this content. And on the click of this, I want to remove that blur. What about accidental rejections? Then you can go back and approve it. So, so whoa. What is all that? Is .NET and C# mostly what? Mostly Windows centric. This is running on Linux. There's a lot of folks that are running .NET on Linux. A lot. So, yeah, it hasn't been Windows centric since 2014. I joined Microsoft in 2013. Yeah, not since 2014. Yeah. So, okay. So what I want to do is, I'm going to call a method, let's just call it reveal. And what I'll do is I'll add to the additional classes here like an unblur. Or no, you know what? Let's go back to site CSS. Here. Yeah. So when it adds rejected here, I'll also add a class of blur. Right? And then when you click reveal, see, that all gets added and jumped onto this additional classes. Right? Let's put a bool here. What don't you like about that? Ooh. Wait a sec. Did I break? I didn't break that. Should be okay with that. Right? Where'd it go? Here. Get rid of this. And I can say, otherwise, blur. Let's see how that goes. You would have never imagined WSL would become a thing? Oh, yeah. There is a ton of Linux being used at Microsoft. A ton. Like, folks don't appreciate just how much is being used there. There we go. The name reveal does not... Oh, I forgot to add... Duh. Right. Public void. There you go. I don't need to call status change. It knows how to do that. We're going to commit and push this out. Then we're going to get ready to go visit with John and the ASP.NET community stand-up. Come on, finish building. Yep. There we go. Loading and... Interesting, it didn't... It's giving me the eye, right? It should have been... I don't know. I do know why that's happening. Moderation is... Yeah, it's here. Components pages. It knows what that is. Right, so it's adding the... It should be adding... Let's go to the rejected. So we can see there. You'll start it on the hour so we can rate over. Yeah, so friends, we're going to... John and I are going to... We're going to do interview style. We're going to talk about cool things that are going on in the ASP.NET community, the larger web dev community, .NET developments with .NET 9, all that stuff. John's planning the show. I'm just the chimp that's going to be sitting there answering questions and talking about this thing, because we want to talk about what's going into developing something like this, so that you feel comfortable building something about this. Yeah, I'm the eye candy. You got it, Crash Systems. Yeah, me, eye candy. Little does Crash Systems know, I am a compensated model. I actually have an entry on my tax return that says modeling. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me tell you, between my sister and I, my mother would have never guessed that I would be the one that ended up as a professional model. Him? He's got a face for radio. What the hell? What? I don't get it. Why would he do such a thing? The blur is up top. I have it on the wrong place in site CSS. I think I want it on. I think I want article.blur. Right? It's article.blur. I don't need the status rejected. There we go. Ooh, it did the whole thing. I want article.blur.content. Just blur the content. There we go. So then when I click the eyeball, yeah, it reveals, right? There we go, chat. That's just like what we wanted, right? Boop. And there it is. Why male models? Do you know how hard it is to look this good? Me and Derek Zoolander? My voice mod stuff is not working properly right now. With respect, I'm gonna return that, and we're actually gonna be leaving in just a little bit here for the other stream. Yeah, I'm gonna return. We're gonna end in about 5 minutes here, but the blur works nicely here. Oh, look, I was mentioning earlier. Sometimes it doesn't size the card properly for messages, and here's one it didn't size properly. Here's Khalid's message, and there's a preview, and it's not showing the full message. But if I refresh, there it is. It shows the full message with the preview. So I'm not quite sure. I'm not gonna dive too far into it. I did a Zoolander reference. I brought out my blue steel. No. Dear Lord. So let's push those in. Updated to blur rejected messages by default and add a reveal button. There it is. It is 3:14. Let's create the pull request. Get that over there. And then we'll be all ready. There we go. And we'll be all ready to hang with John. So here it goes. Docker. We're going to talk about some Docker. Yeah. Well, I don't know if we'll talk about Docker, but there's some Docker features in there, right? And what's great about how we've designed Tags app is that it's a Blazor app. Blazor's portable and runs in many different locations. The first location we have is Docker containers. The next location we're going to have is in a Windows app. And we're going to build a .NET MAUI app that hosts the entire Tags app application so that you can install and run Tags app locally. I want some of our streamer friends like Robert Tables, Junie Von Esch, we saw Fierce Kittens earlier, if they want to try Tags app locally for their stream, to be able to download a Windows version or a Mac OS version, start it, point it to their Twitch channel, and away they go, getting messages coming in on their from their Twitch channel. Be nice to be able to do it. We'll get to Docker. Docker is going to get Docker. Discord is going to get added in here very, very soon, so that you can point to your Discord server and have a Q&A channel over there, and messages that get posted there come through to moderation, and you can add full media messages onto your Tags app screen. Oh, yeah. Linux support for the app? No. Well, it runs in Docker. So, Docker run. Done. So. But we are just about out of time. At Built Properly, let's merge in the pull request. Yeah. There it is. I can just do a merge because they're applied formatting. Fine. Squash and merge. And that'll delete my branch. And that will be available as a package very, very shortly. If you want to download the Docker container, it is available out here. Fritz and Friends, Tags app. Come on. There's the last version we updated about an hour ago where we put in... What did we put in? Oh, the last of the customizing of the modal window, the modal dialog. There's more that we can customize there. There's more we can do that would make that really, really nice. I'm going to leave that so that if somebody one of you out there in the open source community wants to build and add that feature, you can. And we'll give you credit and show it off and celebrate your contribution here on channel. We hit 23,000 followers today. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. 23,000 followers. Technically 23,001. Thank you so much. The countdown has started with John. We're getting ready. We're going to head over to the ASP.NET Community Stand-Up. Those of you that are watching on YouTube, click over to youtube.com/.net, and you're going to see we're going to be joining over there in just a second. If you're watching on Twitch, we're going to raid over to the Visual Studio channel, and I'm going to join our friend John in just a second over there. All right?
Oh, my.
Oh, my, indeed. Let's head over to the Visual Studio channel. Let's talk a little more about Tags app, building applications, all the cool things going on with .NET. All right? Stay tuned. I'll see you over there with John in just a few minutes. Take care.